think that more rate cuts are certainly possible, but Draghi has signalled, and I think she would also signal, that what the problem for Europe is on the fiscal side. And so that gets you into the issue of reform of the Eurozone. So Macron wants a much more integrated Eurozone fiscal rules. Lagarde, I think, will be warm to that. Merkel didn't want to do that. So the question is, can they knit up some sort of deal to move forward on that side of things? The other thing is political. You already saw when Draghi made that speech last month that Trump started tweeting about it. And so there is a potential, if the ECB moves either to cut rates or in particular to start doing more unusual QE, that this is going to deepen the rift between the US and the EU. And so that's politically potentially problematic.
And I think this is probably where Ursula von der Leyen comes in, isn't it? I mean, she's talked about strengthening trade ties between the European Union and the US and what they're doing there. And she's also talked about Brexit, you know, when it comes to trade, and the fact that she'll do everything she can to prevent a hard Brexit.
I'm not sure what she can do on EU-US in particular. I mean, she comes in as a weakened Commission president. The European Commission has become stronger over recent years, but she only scraped by yesterday. She doesn't have much of a mandate, and she faces a Europe that is increasingly divided. Although the top team that they now have in place, they're all federalists, but the politics of the European Union is increasingly riven down the middle between the populists and the federalists, between the West and the East. And so her room for manoeuvre, whether that's on fiscal rules or on Brexit, is a little bit complicated.
What do you think that she can do on Brexit? And what do you think is going to happen when it comes to Brexit? I mean, there's a lot still to be decided on that front.
I mean, I think Brexit is going to continue to be a big mess. On the European side, she sounds reasonably emollient. She said that another delay is perfectly possible. I think that's probably where we're heading. From the European side, perhaps the more significant appointment isn't von Leyen, but it's Charles Michel, who's the replacement for Donald Tusk. Donald Tusk has been very tolerant of the UK as it makes a big mess of everything. But Charles Michel is much closer to Macron, much more critical of the UK, and so he is going to be one of the figures pushing for a tougher line. Now, I still think we're likely to have another delay, but that delay can't keep happening indefinitely.
And what do you think of the leadership race in the UK that's happening at the moment?
Well, I think it's very likely that Boris is going to win. I think they'll probably go back and try and get some cosmetic changes to the existing deal. Then they'll have another go at passing that deal. That probably won't work, and then we're in uncharted territory. I mean, Boris might be able, through some act of political charlatanry, to manage this, but I think in the end you're looking at a referendum or an election later this year or early next.
A referendum, so a second referendum on Brexit?
I think a second referendum is much more likely that Boris is facing the choices. If he can't get any amended version of the withdrawal agreement, they desperately don't want to have an election because they'll get slaughtered. And so although he doesn't want to have a referendum, what other choice does he have?
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.